I'm Ann with Andale Homestead.
And happy holidays. This is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona.
I'm Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch.
Hello, hello. Happy holidays, everyone. It is Casey over at Ormsby Farm. And yes, we are pre-recorded because we are spending some quality family time right now during this week of Thanksgiving. So we hope you are as well and having a wonderful start to your holiday season. Today, we're talking about a lot of really fun stuff. One of them being, now y'all, how Black Friday has turned into a month-long event. Don't ask Casey, but it has. So we're talking Black Friday deals today. But before that, I think we have a little hello from Miss Ann because we're still going to do that.
I just want to say hello, everyone. We are so glad that you're here. We appreciate your feedback and your questions. And we know that of all the places in all the world that you could have picked a time, you sharing your time with us. And we really appreciate it. So, Casey, what about those Black Friday thingamajogs that are going on?
Yes, well, with the thingamajogs with the Black Friday is, we all have Amazon storefronts and we talk about it all the time. And I wanted to kind of pull this up so people could see it because we talk about our link tree all the time. We always say, go click on our link tree, click on our link tree, link tree, link tree. And most people are like, Casey, what in the world is a link tree? So this is our link tree. So basically what you can do, as you see on the screen, is once you click on it, it takes you to this page. You can go to our YouTube. You can go to our podcast platforms. You can go to our personal channels. But here you can also go to our Amazon storefront. And I'm going to click on this and share the Amazon storefront. So when you go to our storefront, whether you're an Ann fan, a Casey fan, a Sandy fan, a Monica fan, all of us have a storefront. It will be on our link tree. So when you go here, you're able to get all of our recommendations for different fun stuff. And that's what we're going to be talking about today is our hay bale must-haves. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start with mine because mine is a little crazy. Now, I'm going to talk about another thing later in the episode, but Monica knows the joke on this one. I have, if anybody watches this live, they see that I have this old looking bathtub that is probably to the right of me, right behind me.
Okay.
And I tried when I moved in, had videos, tried to repurpose it. It's a beautiful old antique clawfoot tub. It was an epic fail of me trying to fix it because it started bubbling up and I couldn't use it. And I'm a bath person. So my hay bale must-have is I have purchased a inflatable bathtub. Now,
Wait a minute, a what?
It's an inflatable bathtub. It's just like an inflatable pool, but it's a high, like tall bathtub that you can fill up, like inflate, put your water in. It has a little pillow and armrest and a cup holder, and the drain can go right to your shower drain. This is great for people that are living off grid or living in a tiny house that you don't have enough room to really put a bathtub in there, but you like baths. Because listen, when you're in the garden all day, your body's tired, it aches, and you want to soak. This is so good. I got mine for around like $50, I think. Okay. Yes, Monica. I'm sure Monica's Googling it right now.
I have a question. Where do you drain it and how do you drain it?
Okay, so there is just like a bathroom stopper in a regular tub. There's a pull up and there's a tube that you attach to it that drains into the drain of the shower.
That's really cool. I mean, I've seen there's a number of senior houses that they have out there if we ever were to move that don't have bathtubs. They only have showers, especially senior apartments. So that would be pretty cool to be able to have a blow up bathtub.
I'm going to pull it up now because most people are probably thinking, Casey, what in the world are you talking about?
Never heard of such a thing.
Never heard of such a thing because I knew that's what Monica was doing off screen was looking for it. So I'm going to go ahead and share it right here. So,
Casey, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, is it really durable? Could you bathe your pets in there?
Yes, the bottom part of it. Now, some of them you need to look if you're a heavier person like myself, there are ones that have weight limits on there. Now the bottom
Okay.
for like dog nails and stuff is it's a very durable plastic. So you can put your little
What?
baby puppy or dog in
Wow.
there and they won't get out. But I got one that did have a 300-pound weight limit. I'm not going to give my weight on this live,
No.
but it was underneath there. But literally, down where the feet are, there's a little drain. This is not the exact one that I got, but there's a drain that you hook a little pipe up to, and it drains right into your shower thing. It took
Wow.
me 7 minutes to inflate it, and it took me 10 minutes to deflate it. So
That's cool.
Wow.
Does it come with its own pump? Like for,
it,
like an
it
air bed
does.
will
Uh-huh.
have a thing and then it goes down.
It does. It has the pump, and on the top is the pump. On the bottom is the deflation one. So you hook it back up, turn it on, and it deflates it
Great.
really fast. I just thought, what a wonderful thing. Because listen, some of us have to deal with family members, and it takes a lot of energy to do that.
Yes.
I'm not going to call any of my family members out, but I need a bath after some of it. And
that's
this was
good
a great way to do
too.
it.
Yeah, see, my in-laws have a walk-in shower area. Like when they built their house, the house they were retiring in, right? So they built this basically you like walk out of their like sink area. They have a little toilet area, and then you walk right from their sink where they wash their hands, wash their face. You can just walk, and you don't step down. You don't. You
Right.
just ramp down right into this big shower area with a seat and everything. But like this is big enough, or their area of their shower is big enough that if you wanted to put this in there, you could physically put this in there, and they would have a bath
Yes.
area if they wanted
Yeah.
to.
That's
And
awesome.
I watched a video because I did a little bit of research because when I first thought about it, I was like, oh, this sounds way too Chinese for me. I don't know if I'm really all for it. But I saw a video of homesteaders that use it as like an ice bath in the garden. When you're
Yeah,
in 80, 90
Wow.
degree weather, fill it up with cold water, you're able to get in there outside
yeah.
and cool off.
Okay.
It was very interesting. It's my recommendation. If you head over to our link tree, click on Casey's favorite Amazon, and I'll have it there.
And
Okay.
and they do have covers. So if you are using it outside and you're worried about debris or things getting in it, there's a cover to cover. Sorry,
Right.
Sandy, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking as a homesteader, because if you're processing a lot of birds,
Mhm.
right? You buy those great big metal tanks, which are not cheap.
No.
But what if you had separate ones just for that? So when you're processing your birds, you have ice water, you can put them right in there to cool
Yep.
them down.
Right.
And
Wow.
that's the only thing you use it for,
Yeah.
then you
Right.
can
Yeah.
bleach it out in between each time.
And it's
Absolutely.
easy to clean, and they're good size. It was 67 inches long is what it was. 29 tall, 34. I'm trying to think of all the right ones. I think it was 34 wide. So it's a good size, and it'd be wonderful to use it to chill bath poultry when you're processing.
Yeah,
What
and
a
those
great
tubs are
idea.
more than $50 for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot more.
What were you gonna
So-
say, Ann?
No, I just said that's a great idea
Yeah.
to be able to utilize for the homestead thinking,
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
I
I
love
just
homestead.
thought it was a fun little because we always talk about, like knife sets or canning projects. And I was like, let me throw a little crazy one out there because I'm the crazy one out of the four of us. So I was like, I'm going to throw that crazy idea out there. But now my crazy self's going to throw it to Sandy to talk about hers.
Well, okay. So I have an Amazon store like the rest, everybody else does. And I like garden things, right? But if you've watched me for very long, I like to graft trees. And there's a lot of different ways. And some people I've talked to do not want to do grafting of trees because they're not sure enough with the knife, right?
Mhm.
And so this is my tool. This is a grafting tool.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I'm not sure if you can really see, but it has a V. And so it can literally cut. See where that V is? See right here? That V. So on the tree itself or the rootstock, you're cutting it one way. And then when you're going to add a different type, say apple to that same tree, you make it go through the opposite way,
Oh,
and then you can just tie it all up. There's a special clear tape that you use. I like to use beeswax after that, but this way, this tool could make it so that you could have 10 different apples on an apple tree, or on your pear trees, different kinds of pears. Um, and I just think it's a safe way. You're not using a knife, so you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to learn all those different cuts to hold it. But like I use this when I'm grafting now, where I used to do the knife cut, and it's so successful. It's
how cool
sharp.
is that?
And on my store, I do have a smaller one, and I do have that. But really, after a while, it gets dull, and you have to replace the blades. Where this one, sharp as can be.
Oh, how cool.
So I don't know if Casey can pull up my store, and so you can see that. I'm not really sure if he can do that or not.
I can.
But
Sure we can.
as a homesteader, if you can have a lot of different um, types of trees, like on an apple tree, one, it's beautiful in the springtime. You got all these different color blooms going on one tree. That you, yeah, if you'll go to that grafting tool right there, it, why not use your space so wisely that you can have different types of that fruit on the same tree.
That's
So no matter
awesome.
where you live, you can buy scions. That's what you're buying so that you can add different types of trees. Um, so like on one of my trees, I probably have, I don't know, 10, 17, something. I don't know. It's a crazy amount of different kinds of apples on one tree. There are people across the country, like there's a Frankenstein tree in California that I think it has like 125 different types of apples.
Oh,
So
good
you
grief.
have different apples on one main tree.
Yes.
Right. And like a scion will cost you, the new part that you're adding onto your original tree will cost you $4 or $5. You order them across the country in the wintertime. And so you can add that so that you don't have to have two trees to cross pollinate. You can have all of these same
Mic drop.
trees on one actual tree.
Is that only for apples, or you can do it with other fruit?
Oh no, you can do it for apples, pears, peaches.
So like I have a
nectarines.
peach tree that only grows these little teeny tiny white peaches, and if I wanted to try to grow another variety of peach on that tree, I could graft another
Yes.
variety. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Learning double
it's
things
just,
here on this
you know,
episode.
where you would have paid 45 to 100 and some dollars for a different tree.
Yeah.
You're paying $4 and $5 for a scion to add to your tree.
But for the scions too come from adult trees, right?
They do. And so they will bloom earlier than buying a new tree.
And produce more than if you went and bought like a little tree to plant.
Right.
Can you turn a scion into a new tree?
Yes, if you wanted to just make that original, take that scion, you would graft it to a rootstock. And then it would make just that tree.
Wow.
It's the coolest thing. And I have seen them before. I have not, I tried it on our fig tree. I tried that and I cut myself with the knife and
You
didn't do
need
very
you
well.
need that
with it.
tool.
You need this tool.
I do need that tool.
Oh my word.
And like currently we last year planted a couple of apple trees and I only had one that made it through. The geese killed the other one.
Mhm.
And so I could potentially buy these little scions. And
Yes.
because apple trees need pollinators, they need
Right.
another kind to pollinate this type. So you need two different types of apples, but you could have them on the same tree, which is
That's
just like,
right. And you could actually put crab apples onto it too. You could put cider apples onto it. And so you could have this multitude of, because an apple tree will easily, especially if it's on a standard rootstock, can live 100 years, 300 years. It's not like it's, if you had a dwarf rootstock, that will last you about 15 years. I never recommend dwarf rootstocks. But if you're buying it in like a box store, it is a standard rootstock that you're getting right there.
That's cool, isn't it?
Not me,
Just look
not
at
me trying to look up all the different peach and plum
I
candies
see
you can buy
Monica
now.
looking over to the side.
I'm like,
Okay. If you're going to do that, just a note, you order your scions in the wintertime and
Yeah.
then they ship them out later.
yeah,
right.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Monica?
Okay, so mine isn't as cool. Mine is pretty standard.
Well, Casey
So
was fun and Sandy
I
is
know mine's
cool.
not fun. Mine's not fun. It's just practical. So, okay, so we used to live in Maryland, and in Maryland, our water from the tap tasted good. It just tasted good. It just tasted like water. It was great. We live in Texas, and for the last 10 years, our water has been garbage. It tastes like dirt.
Oh,
It tastes
Oh,
like the stuff that blows in and it's nasty. So if you go to my you scroll down, I'm not sure exactly which one it's in. It's probably down a little further, Casey. It's going to be right there. If you see that, um, scroll up a little bit. It's going to be my Simpure machine. It's going to be in the kitchen favorites right there.
Okay.
Underneath that air fryer. It's going to be right there. One of those two, the one to the right is going to be that's it right there. Both of them are the same. One just comes with some replacement parts. But the Simpure was a machine that was sent to me and I love it. If I hadn't had it sent to me for review, I would just be using it anyway. I would have paid this money to buy it. As a matter of fact, my daughter-in-law has been like, "All right, I need one of these," because the water is amazing. It is completely purified. Now, I have been told that it purifies all the good stuff out too. Maybe so. But at this point, if I want to add some minerals back to it, I can if I really want. But this water
Sure.
is clean. It is clear. It is amazing. It filters out the nasty taste. And my kids drink so much water now because of this. And in Texas, it's a huge deal for me. We had our little countertop pitcher. Everybody knows them little Britas you put on your counter. That's
yeah.
Right.
fantastic. Maybe for one or two people in a house is great. But when you're drinking a lot of water the way we do, that Simpure has come in so clutch for
Awesome.
us. It is
Oh
the
my
most
goodness.
amazing machine. You put your little cup underneath, you fill it up. I drink at least 3 or 4 of these a day filled
Mhm.
with that water.
Mhm.
I use it when I make my kombucha. I use it when I make my sourdough.
Wow.
Starter, like I put the purified water, right? So I don't have to worry about chlorine in my tap water.
Right.
I don't have to worry about because sometimes when they say when you're doing like sourdough, if you use water from the tap, you need to let it sit because you
Oh,
want to get the chlorine to kind of like evaporate
right.
off, right? I don't do that. I
Right.
don't have to. It's been wonderful. It has been such a huge help for our family, and I highly recommend it. It's a huge price tag. I get it. If you
Well,
check,
you don't know because we pre-record all of our pre-recorded stuff. We don't know what deals are going to be
yeah,
on these
Right.
Right.
Amazon
Yep.
yes.
items.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you can check that out there, or I will have a review video out before this comes out, probably on the Simpure, just an unboxing, and there will be a link there so that you can get a percentage off if you go right to their site. So I highly encourage you check out the Amazon price and then go to their site and check out that price with my discount. And it's just she gave me a discount code. I asked when they sent it, I said I would love a discount code for my subscribers so that if they wanted to compare, because they would rather you go to their site versus Amazon, but they're going to
Sure.
offer you a good deal either way. Needless to say, it is worth the price tag in my mind. And those filters, they're supposed to last the average person anywhere between 6 and 8 months, I believe. Our family hasn't replaced ours yet, and we've had ours for 6 months, and we have not got an alert saying it need to be replaced
Oh,
yet. And we
Wow.
drink a lot of water. So I imagine if it's just 1 or 2 people in your house, that's going to last you
long time.
much longer. So it
Right.
may cost you $50 to replace those filters once a year. But for the
Mhm.
amount of money you're going to save in water bottles
Right.
and all the other stuff, and it's easier than the under the counter stuff. I love it.
Okay. Question for you.
Yeah.
So it's really a machine, reverse osmosis, like
Yes.
the ones that people put under their counters for
Yes.
thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Right.
Only this is on your counter.
Mhm.
You replace the filters yourself
Yep. They just
because my
click in.
parents because my parents have to pay somebody to come
Yes.
do their filters.
No.
Now, do you
Click 'em right
use
in.
that water for like your ice cubes and all that stuff
Everything.
too?
Yeah, we have a little countertop ice machine, and I just fill a big pitcher up. I dump it into my ice machine. The ice tastes beautiful. If you have an ice machine and you want to, it is great. So if you're putting ice in the refrigerator, whatever it is, we use it for everything. The only thing we don't use it for is the dog water because it takes a little, it takes a minute because it's filling up. So you have to be patient as well. But I mean, who doesn't? you don't always need a high pressure. It comes out and it trickles down and it fills your cup up. So this takes, 2 little pumps. The cool thing is on the front of it, it has three little options. One is 5 ounce. The other one is 12 ounce and the other one is 15 or something like that. There's 3 different options. So you know how much water you're putting in it. You just hit a button to start it, hit a button to stop it, or you
Oh,
let it go full 15 ounces. You click the button, it fills 15 ounces, then it stops itself.
cool.
So it's
I
great.
think that
Wow.
this is a great product.
It is
You, you
Yeah.
just
fantastic.
you said it was going to be boring. This is not boring.
No, this is
It's pretty practical, but like I said, when it
it's
comes
the
to
same
my
prices
kids,
as Berkey's, and
yeah,
Berkey's was the thing in the homesteading community for a
yeah.
while. This is just a new. Sometimes you have to put a little bit of money out for the health of your body and your family's body of
Right.
And
what you
that's a
put in.
huge
So,
That's
thing. And so,
true.
and if you want certain minerals, because it does filter out a lot, but if you want minerals, just add trace minerals to you. You can add trace mineral drops to your water,
Mhm.
because they do add things, but it's taking out the fluoride and the things that might be in your public water
Mhm.
that I don't
Right.
want. I don't want my kids to have all that.
Right.
right.
I want them to have the purified water. And if I want to add trace minerals or something to it, I can. But my kids drink a lot of water now more than ever because they'll use the machine. And I love it. The only thing that my kids hate about it is that the tank is over. It's a gallon, it's 1.3 gallon tank or something like that. So we fill it up twice a day, 3 times a day, maybe. And my daughter's like,
Wow.
Mom, every time I come to the machine, I have to refill it. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You're like low key mad about it, but it's because we're a huge family. We drink a lot of water, but you know
Right.
how much money it saved us in water bottles?
No
Because
Oh
joke.
a big
yeah.
case of water used to be
Yeah.
$3 and some change. Now it's almost $6 at
Right.
even at Costco. I was
Yeah,
floored the other day when I saw that. I was like,
it
oh my
is.
gosh. So save your money.
Pays for itself.
Invest. It will pay for itself. So that's my product. Miss
That is
Ann.
awesome.
Miss Ann, what do you got for us? What is your go-to, your must-have? What's something you use all the time?
Well, my must have and go to that I use constantly. I have a couple of things in mind, but my most practical, what I actually use more than anything, is the Nesco electric pressure canner. And the reason why is it's so convenient for me personally. Worth and I, with just the two of us, I'm still used to cooking for a family, but it's just the two of us, and we do eat leftovers. But if you have a great big pot of soup or a great big pot of chili or b- taco meat, or we just picked our green beans out of the garden and we have a ton of them. We're eating them, but of the ones that are left over, I can pop 1 jar, or I can pop 4 quarts and 5 pints in my Nesco
Awesome.
canner.
Mhm.
And so it's just been, the thing is, we all have 14 different things to do during the day, right? You got 1 hour and 12 things you need to accomplish, and when you're using the regular traditional canners, which are wonderful, but you have some other things. This is so easy. All I do is turn it on and push a couple of buttons. And then, as long as you're around, once it gets up to temperature, to flip one switch, you can literally leave the room because it turns itself off and your items stay in there. So I think we all have one of those electric pressure canners now. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm the newest one to get one. And I
Yeah.
have to tell you, the other day I was there, I guess it was a few weeks ago now. I was canning all my carrots for my garden, right? And so I'm pressure canning them. I still have more carrots, so I put them in my Nesco.
Oh,
And so I had both of them going at the same time.
Yeah.
It was fabulous.
Awesome.
that's good. But then that way you can also compare of to which
Yeah.
is more convenient for you, and what way to go. It's just there've been a lot of controversy about electric pressure canners, and you do need to make sure that if you're looking, you get a pressure canner, not a
Mhm.
pressure cooker. That's very important.
And we
Follow
have
the
an episode on
instructions.
that too. We have a whole episode on
Mhm.
Yeah.
pressure canning, and it will be down below. I'll leave it in the bio notes so you can go and click and listen, um, because it
That's
is very important to get the pressure canner, not the pressure cooker.
Yes.
right.
things. Two different things.
That's right. Well, this particular canner can water bath. It can pressure can. It can you can use it as where you're browning your meat or something. You can
Mhm.
also use it as a slow cooker. You can use it
Right.
for a lot of varieties.
Right.
I personally have only used it for a pressure canner,
Yeah.
but it's that's not the limits on it. So if you're not a pressure always canner person, you can use it for a lot of other things as
Right.
well. And I wouldn't be able to can all these things. If I have leftover soup here, I can, if I'm not ready for supper, I go in my pantry and go, hey, we got a meal ready right here. It tastes just as good. Oops, tastes just as good. Those are funny, those little thumbs up things.
Well, we do that here too. When I'm making something that the kids are very interested in, I'll make some sort of pasta dish. And if Eric's not feeling it, I'm like, well, we've got a whole bunch of stuff here and you can go grab it because I already canned up the leftover some chili a couple weeks ago, or I
Right.
canned up some beef stew. So
Right.
go grab you something off the shelf and go eat that.
That's
So,
right.
And
Now, if
it is so easy to do it at the end of the night instead of putting it into a Tupperware to throw in your fridge that you accidentally forget about, and then you
and throw
notice that
away
something
next
is
week.
growing out of it.
yeah.
Um, you pop it into your quart or your pint jar just the same. You put
Yeah.
it in there, and like Miss Ann said, if you're there to flip that switch once the
Yeah,
E10 goes to E0, that's all you do. That
that's right.
literally is all you do in the morning. You can get up, you can open it up because all the pressure would have come down overnight.
Yep.
Huh? Take the
Yes.
Exactly.
thing, wipe it down, label, put it in your jar, or put it in your pantry.
Yeah.
Now, we do love comments from everyone on here. So, as you're watching this, if you would come in there, I need your help, everyone. I would really enjoy if you even just put the name or the link or whatever in our comment section of soups. I'm interested in winter soups or soups in general that you cook and what you do so that I can do some of those and can them all up and have them ready to go.
Yeah. That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
that's a great idea. And for all of these ones that we've talked about on this first half of our episode, we will have what's called hay bale favorites under each one of our stores. So you won't have to go searching through all of our different lists. We'll have it right at the top. Click on our Amazon storefront. It will say hay bale favorites. You can click on, and we'll have the 4 on every single one of our storefronts. So you won't have to worry about that. But now that we've talked about Black Friday, 9 years in advance. Uh, we are going to talk about our episode that just came out, which was Homegrown Holidays. So, Homestead Holidays, which basically on the episode, we talked about things that you can do from what you grow on the farm, whether it's decor, it's food, appetizers, whatever. And let's talk about first, you talked about decor. And Sandy was not with us. She was off on that episode. So I want to get Sandy's opinion on the episode as well. So, Ann, let's talk about decor first, and then we'll throw it over to Sandy and see what Sandy does to decorate her home. Huh?
That would be great. I'll try to be brief. I really enjoy making wreaths, which is a typical thing for Christmas out of pine cones and pine needles and those types of things. The grandchildren and I enjoy decorating pine cones, the big pine cones, making little
Mhm.
Christmas trees out of
Right.
those. But in Edenton, in our little bitty town, we're a very historic area. And so our homes here decorate. You're poo-pooed if you don't decorate with fresh things that you
Ooh,
can get. I mean, if you got plastic stuff up, then people are sticking their thumb at you.
what?
And so what we do, there are church organizations and youth sponsors that gather. It's called Smilac, and it is a vine that grows, and it grows wild, but there are children and young adults that will gather it, and then that's what they use for their trim. It's a really pretty vine, lasts quite a while. And in our area, because we've been compared to a mini Williamsburg, we do fresh wreaths often, where you'll have a pineapple at the bottom, and then you've got your smilac or your pine needles or your magnolia leaves, because we're in the South and we have magnolia trees, the magnolia leaves around the outside, but then apples and oranges and pears and all those types of things. That's pretty typical in our area. Yep, there it is. There's the Smilac.
Beautiful.
That is
It
really
is. It's very pretty, and it does come in vines where you can, I mean, long branches or so forth that you can put on around for decorating. So that's my little 2 cents of what you might have around your area.
I
And
love that idea. I think that's great. Sandy, do you do anything like that in the Wyoming? I mean, because y'all are pretty covered with snow about this
Well,
time.
one part of my yard, I have 4 pines, ponderosa pines, and I always like to collect their pine cones. But I wanted to show you something I do with the pine cones. So this is a regular pine cone. Some of them are bigger, some of them are littler, but it's basically a ponderosa pine. But I dip it in concrete sealer. I
what?
just Yeah, liquid concrete sealer. Get the gloss, and I'll literally just put it in a cup so it's also submerged. I'll pull it back out, and then I set it on another cup just so it will dry. But it will literally last forever,
Oh
and
my goodness.
it stays shiny. And so that I like to do, so I can add them to my Christmas trees. I can add them to wreaths. Um, Another thing I like to add to the wreaths are some of my herbs. I'll dry them, and then I can just add the herbs
Oh my,
to whatever wreath I'm doing, be it sage or lavender or whatever I'm growing. Rosemary in there. It's just kind of an added kind of homey kind of thing.
yeah.
And then some of those herbs that I have dried, I will add to sourdoughs, like sourdough bread, sourdough pancakes, and then I can give those to my friends.
Oh,
I can give
that's
them to my
awesome.
families. And
Wow.
and I don't usually grow regular beans in my garden, green beans or yellow beans, because I can get them at the farmer's market for a really good price. But I love to grow soup beans. And because there's just so many more than you would ever find in the grocery store. And so
Okay.
then, like, I just grab some of my soup beans that were in my jar. I just mix them, and I'll put them in a pint jar, and I'll give them to people and tell them how to, soak them overnight, and then add them to your soups. And I mean, there's yellow and green and blue and brown and multicolored in there. It's just a fun thing.
What
And
a neat thing.
you can
Wow.
even make the whole soup with that. See, it's got the noodles. This is when I was like I like to grow lentils and peas too, and then just dry them. And so I can just throw those all in there. That's got some
Oh
barley in
my
it.
gosh.
And I give them a little label so that they know how to cook it. Um, so that's kind of homegrown for me.
It is.
Yeah.
That's so
You
thoughtful.
know,
That's
what
so
about you,
thoughtful.
Monica?
So I don't really decorate like that.
Ah,
Are
Um,
you kidding?
I don't. I mean, like, I'm the girl that goes to the Home Depot or the Amazon and buys like the greenery for the tops of the house because I want to make it look
Yeah.
like Hallmark was here. Um, but I don't really want to put a lot of work into it. So we get free pumpkins from the at the end of the season. We get all the free pumpkins, and we've done videos. I've said it every time I talk to people when they're like, "Oh my gosh, I went out and bought like pumpkins. They were on discount," and I'm like, "Why are you buying them? If
Yeah.
it's November, you shouldn't be buying pumpkins. Go find them. Churches have them. People are getting rid of them. They don't want them no more because they want to Christmas decorate. So
right.
maybe you take those free pumpkins that somebody didn't want to keep anymore, you decorate for fall if you really want, or you skip fall completely like we do now at our house and we go right for Christmas. And you take those white pumpkins and you make them a snowman, or you take those yellow and orange pumpkins and you
Oh,
spray paint them. Now, if you spray paint them, don't be giving them to your animals later, just toss them. But we decorate. My kids have taken the white pumpkins. Those were pretty. I call them the Cinderella ones, but they're not really called that. But the white pumpkins, and we've made snowmen out of them. They'll take
yeah.
the Crayola markers and they mark on them and they decorate them. Or we make a little snowman, put some clothing, a little mini clothing around and put a little scarf around it and stuff. Have fun with it. But you could
Adorable.
do that with some of the things, but it's warm here. Things are going to go bad quick, but pumpkins will stay for quite a while. But I'm not really that creative when it comes to decorating. I'm like, use what you get for free and don't throw a fit. But but I will say I've seen people take their take their hay bales and decorate them with strand. We do put lights on some of our hay bales because It's cute. We take some of those like bush lights, the ones you throw over the bushes, and we like throw them with some of the hay bales that Eric's not
Yeah.
going to need until after Christmas. But for the most part, we use what's free, and those pumpkins are free, sure enough.
There
So you
you
can take
go.
the little ones, put them on your table inside, make them Christmassy, make them fall-ish, whatever you want to do. But they'll last too, those little pumpkins. But that's the extent of what I do. I mean, Casey be taking all his stuff and dehydrating it and making it strand garland, and I love that idea. Whether or not it will happen, we shall see. But we will
Okay.
take those free pumpkins and we'll make pumpkin pies out of them, and I will can some of that pumpkin up.
Okay.
Do you take the seeds out of those pumpkins that you've got and make dehydrate them? I like to put spices on it before.
So I just saw one of these canning pages I'm part of, Canning Rebels pages. This lady was like, I got 36 pumpkins, and they had literally dozens and dozens of mason jars filled with seasoned pumpkin seeds, and they're giving them as gifts. And I'm like,
Yeah.
boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got like 300 pumpkins outside. I've got
Yeah.
8 crates of pumpkins. I could take any of those pumpkin seeds and season them up and make gifts. You better believe that's what already been in my mind for the season.
I need to learn how to do that. I've done
Me
it,
too.
but I've burned them bad boys up to a crisp.
Can you just use a dehydrator, Sandy?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I use is a dehydrator. I
Instead
soak
of
it
the oven.
and then nothing's getting burnt up.
Right there.
And like right now, I was in Walmart yesterday.
Uh-huh.
All of their pumpkins that they have left are $1. So why
Okay.
not go through and find some, because they had some funky pumpkins too.
Mm-hmm.
Buy one of those for $1, save the seeds and grow them in your garden next year.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Or dry
Absolutely.
them and make little packets and give them to your friends for Christmas presents so they
Yeah.
can grow them in their garden. Because there is no way you're paying $1 for that many seeds that you're
Yeah.
getting out of that pumpkin.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, I mean, you can give them as gifts. You can even make them into holiday. Like I said, you can take the pumpkins and make them into holiday decor. If you go right to Christmas, it's a little more difficult. But if you're doing right, if you're doing Thanksgiving time, I mean, pumpkins are great. We do put up little piles of little mini pumpkins because they're all different colors. But yeah, that's about as decoraty as I get.
Like we do, we like the white pumpkins, and we usually have a class every year on doing this. And then we have succulents, and we hot glue the succulents and then mosses and curly things all over. And literally, when I did that last year down in Arizona, those pumpkins lasted until we were going home. Or
In
just about to go
Arizona?
home. Yes.
Oh my gracious.
I
Well,
just
the
had them sitting on the porch.
Yeah, the pumpkins that we have, as long as it's raining today, it's been raining. So the rain will help contribute to some of that rot. But because they're in the big bins, they don't last as long, obviously. But depending on the type of weather we get, we've had pumpkins last us until February
Wow.
that we've been feeding. And it's a great supplemental source for our animals
Yes.
because it helps. And they love it. Even the cows love it.
That's
All the
awesome.
animals love it. So yeah, I mean, pumpkins will last quite a while. Just depends on where you store them and how you store them.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There,
How about
there
you?
was
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No.
There was a post that I saw, which I thought was a great idea. So you have your pumpkins, you're ready to throw them away. They said, don't throw them in the trash can. If you're not going to compost them,
Mhm.
they said, go out into the hills because we have hills right by us, and they break them and they put them, and the animals will come and eat all those, the
Yeah.
deer, the rabbits,
Okay.
all the little creatures, and it'll just biodegrade.
Yeah.
Wow. What
Yeah.
a great idea.
I think it's the same kind of thing with like spaghetti squashes and butternut squashes too.
Absolutely.
They're going soft. Don't throw them away. To throw them out to the woodland creatures.
Yep.
So cool. So Casey, how about you, honey, as far as things that you do for Christmas that might be something quick or help us around the house, some of our homesteading ideas?
I'll tell you, I am a decorator, but I'm not a make my own decorations. I'm uber bougie. So most of my decorations are store bought, and I spent way too much money on them.
Gotcha.
But what I like to do is food wise. Okay, I didn't
Genius.
get
That is
the
so
girlish
genius.
figure just from luck. I got it from good food. And I played an ant. I actually brought props today.
There
to
you go.
show.
Good for you. I
They're
wanna see
kind of
anyway.
defrosting as as we're sitting here chit chatting. But
Oh well, you need to eat it for lunch today.
That's
much,
right.
is like I pre-make and fry appetizers that I put in the air fryer for the holiday season, whether it's a sausage ball. That first one was a fried zucchini.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do homemade cheese sticks. And what I do is I pre-batter them and flash freeze them. And I talked about this on the live. That all that it really is I put it on a cookie sheet and I leave it in the freezer for 24 hours. And that's just so they don't stick together
Okay.
in the bag. And then I pull it out and I have this nifty tool, which I was going to talk about as my item, but I changed my mind. But this I was sent. And you can fill it with the oil of your choice. Because you could buy the Pam spray.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even want to go into what all is in that Pam spray to keep it shelf stable. This you can put in the oil of your choice, and it has either this back part is a sprayer. I'm not going to spray it because I'm in my office. But
Why
it
not
also
spray
has
it?
this
I want to
Yeah,
see.
spray
I'm
it.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And the other one is you move it and it's a pour. So you can pour out the
I
oil.
love that.
That's
It is
awesome.
a great, great, great item. And with the fried stuff, when I put it in the air fryer, I spray a little bit over the top of it and it will crisp up just like it's in a deep fryer.
Wow.
Wow.
The zucchini rounds, and I do that probably around like summer when you're getting the zucchinis. I cut them into the little circles.
Okay.
And then I dip them in a flour first because the flour always helps the egg bind to it quicker. And then an egg, and then a breadcrumb and garlic and onion powder mixture.
Yum.
Yum.
And I freeze it. So then when you're air frying it, it's like a fried zucchini that is half, if not a quarter of the calories from your own garden that you're doing. And I talked about that when you have people over for holidays, you want to actually spend time with them and not slave away
Right.
over the stove the whole time.
Yeah.
This is the way to easily have your appetizers prepped. So all you have to do is grab a handful, throw them in the oven, air fryer, deep fryer, whatever you want to do with it. And then you can spend more time with your family and, be able
That's
to eat something.
awesome. That's an awesome idea.
I love doing that. And we've talked about, meals in the jars and all that kind of stuff as well. I think when I think homegrown holidays is learning how to have homemade meals quick in a hurry when you have people over. And I said before this that I'm going to shout out Mr. Eric Bland on this live. So he better be listening and he better be watching. Mr. Eric Bland. But he had a wonderful video tutorial on spatchcocking. Do y'all?
Which sounds
I,
terrible. That's a terrible name. They need to change the
it
name
really
on that,
is.
quite
It really
frankly.
is. I had no clue what it was until I watched it. Have y'all ever spatchcocked? Monica, we know you have.
Well,
Um,
we learned that from Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farm. That's
Yes,
who did it. She told us
yes.
about it. And then Eric was like, I have to do this.
It is the easiest thing. Now, listen, I will also link that video of Eric's because it was a short. So it's not a long video. It was.
He does a full length. It's actually
yeah.
he does a full length holiday video. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
This one he had attached on what he used, and I got the shears. And at first I was like, okay, I don't think scissors is going to cut through bone. I was very, very wrong.
Yeah.
Now, you're for a turkey, you're cutting out the backbone. On a chicken, I just cut right down the center, and it is so easy. You can freeze it that way. If you're a smaller family, you can raise your turkey, and then you have a Thanksgiving and a Christmas
Right.
turkey right there. Let me say, you even can do it blasphemy with a store-bought turkey. Yeah, defrost that store-bought turkey if you get them earlier in the year. I don't know how you would do
Yeah.
that. The stores don't have them out there, but spatchcock it right in half with those little shears. Then you can have a homemade meal easily and quick because it cooks easier. It cooks a lot faster and quicker, whether you're smoking it, frying it, cooking it in the oven. So, all right, Eric, I'm shouting you out, Eric, bud. That was a good idea that you got from Lisa. But have y'all spatchcocked poultry before? Sandy,
Yeah.
you have?
I have not.
Sandy, you said you have. Have you done
Yeah.
the turkey and the chicken or
Just chicken.
just chicken? Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's my new favorite way to do it now, because it saves room in your freezer too, because you got to have a lot of freezers if you're putting whole chickens
Yeah,
and
if you could
turkeys.
lay them flat.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the thing too. When we put our turkeys in the freezer, we don't spatchcock them first, and we should, because it
Yeah.
would save room, because these whole turkeys. But I don't do it, and so Eric is usually outside working on the next one, and so he's not inside to actually do it. So I should probably watch the video so that I know how to do it.
Your husband's
Because
video you're talking about
Yes.
yeah,
on
because
your personal
yeah,
channel.
on my channel. Yeah, on my personal
Absolutely.
channel, the Monica at Bland's Promised Land Ranch. But you
Yes.
know what the funny thing is that the turkey he actually used in that video was a store-bought turkey that someone had given us. And so we didn't have any more of our own turkeys at the time. So he's like, I'm gonna have to use this store-bought one. So he actually used the store-bought, and he was so liquidy from thawing out. He was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm like, it's fine, it's good. So for the video, he used what we had. We've never done it on anything but our own since then. But yeah, he actually used a store-bought turkey in the video, which I thought was the funniest part, because we grow our own turkeys and we have turkey every couple months that we butcher several, and yet here he was using a store-bought.
Well, let me just say, because Anne, you've talked about this on some of our podcasts, is after Thanksgiving, turkeys go on super
Oh yeah,
Yes.
like
sale
10
at
cents
the
a pound.
grocery store.
I mean, that's we stock up because
And
I
Yes.
don't
stock 'em up,
raise
and
my own turkeys.
I would
Yeah.
say tell Worth to spatchcock it with the little shears,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then you have half turkeys that you can put in your freezer and have, whether you have turkey on Easter or turkey mid-February for
Right.
some random reason you want to roast a turkey.
And like
Let
you
me
said,
ask
they
you
lay
this.
flat, which is nice.
Yeah. Okay, so when you're talking about spatchcocking, I guess
Mhm.
is how you pronounce it.
Right.
Do you because I might get around to being able to watch Eric's video, but I would like to know how to do this. Do you cut on the backbone side or do you cut on the other side, the underside?
So what he did in the video and what I did was you cut the backbone out. So you're going to cut on the right and the left of the backbone all the way up to the top.
So
Take
it's
that.
2 separate pieces.
Well, you have to flatten it out, because so you can flatten it out and lay it flat. So it's like the halves are laying flat.
Okay. But it's all one turkey.
It's all one turkey, and then I went down the breastbone side of it and cut to have two separate pieces.
Yeah. So what you do is you actually take it and you kind of slam it, kind of break that a little bit. But what you do is you just cut the backbone out. So now you have this backbone that you can take and put to the side, and
To
you
make
can use it for
Mhm.
broth or whatever you
bone
want.
broth.
Or you throw it out if you don't really want to touch that. You don't want to do any of that. You don't have to. But then you keep it for broth, and then you basically crack it that way, and you cut down the breast. And now you have that, when you cut down that breastbone, you have the entire breast, and then you have the thigh and all that meat from one whole half
Right.
Gotcha.
laying flat. And then you can vacuum seal it, label it, and put it in your freezer. And now you've got a flat piece of meat that is one entire half of that turkey or chicken or whatever.
That's an awesome idea.
But it's nice because
could-
you're not pulling out an entire turkey for you guys.
all
Right.
we have as far as freezer space are 2 little refrigerator freezers.
Yeah.
We don't have a big freezer.
And that's
So
gonna lay
when
flat.
we get 3 turkeys, we got to can one, cook one, and store one kind of thing. And
We need a company to send Miss Ann and Worth a chest freezer.
Yeah.
well, our stand-up freezer would be really awesome. but
Yeah, or a stand-up
either way.
one.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
we do.
they were sending out the I saw on one of the videos sending out those redneck looking camo freezers that I got from Home Depot. I think Worth Dale would like him.
It would fit right in with those. The Land of Plenty would love a camo
Yes.
freezer. I think that would be hilarious.
Yes. But yeah, that's a really good way to store your meat that way.
Okay.
They
Let me
were
ask you
good
guys.
price, too.
Have you guys ever smoked cheese for gifts in the fall time?
No, but I want to. Eric had bought smoked cheese, and I'm like, bro, that's a lot of money you're paying for that. We just smoke a block of cheddar outside in the smoker ourselves and wax it up. So
Yeah, because we do that lots of times, and we just do it. Actually, we don't use our big smoker. We just use our grill, and we have a smoker tube, and so you just fill it in. It'll smoke for about 6 to 8 hours, depending on the pellets that you're using. And I just set that cheese. I have this little kind of mesh thing that will go into my grill, and So you can have whatever kind of cheese you want. And so if one of your friends or one of your kids or a family member likes a certain kind of smoked cheese, I just put it in there. I try to do it when it's cooler outside. It works better if you can get it down to 30, 40 degrees, but you guys could do it at night when
Yes.
it's cooler temperatures
Yeah.
for you, since you're warmer and the taste is just fabulous. So I smoke it, then I wrap it in like Glad wrap, saran
Yeah.
wrap,
Mhm.
and I leave it in the refrigerator for a while because I want it to really permeate all the way in there.
Okay.
And then some people wax them afterwards. Ours we give away and we eat too fast. I've never had to wax them.
If I
But
ever showed or told Worthdale how to smoke his own cheese, he would never have any other kind. He loves that smoke flavor.
it's just so good. And depending
Yeah.
on what kind of pellets you use, apple or hickory or a
Mhm.
mixture or cherry, it gives it a
Yeah.
different flavor. So you could have cheddar cheese that's one flavor and a cheddar cheese that's a different flavor because you use different pellets. And it's such a great gift. Like you get invited to Thanksgiving things and Christmas things, and you want to bring something.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
why not bring some smoked cheese?
Oh,
Now, okay, question for you, Sandy, because you've just blown my mind yet again.
okay.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Let me just say, I didn't think Sandy could blow my mind any more than she already had with information, but she just outdid herself. Now, with the cheese that you buy, should you be getting more expensive hard cheese or like
Uh,
I'm
I
thinking like the Kroger's like soft cheddar, like the cheap stuff. You probably don't want to smoke.
honestly, we have tried all kinds of them, from the really cheap to some really expensive Gouda and different things, because some of my girls like certain kinds of cheeses.
Mhm.
And honestly, it has worked on every single one.
Oh,
Some people will tell you got to use those hard cheeses. That's the only thing you can use. But we have tried it on all kinds of cheeses and we have loved all of it.
I'm
What
going
a
to the grocery
wonderful
store after we get off here. Great.
homestead holiday thing. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
And
because
so
who
what
doesn't
do
like
you
smoked
lay? I,
cheese?
I can't vision how you lay your cheese out though. It doesn't melt, even though
No, because you're doing it either at night when it's cool or you're doing it during the day when it's cool. And the smoker tube, you don't want to have the cheese too close to the smoker tube or you'll get little BBs of liquid. It's the
right.
liquid that's in the cheese. So I
Mhm.
just put it on the other side of the grill. The smoke just filters all over the place and it is just amazing cheese. And
D-
because if you buy smoked cheese, it can be spendy.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yes.
you put it just straight on the grill side of the grill, like
Well,
you don't.
well, I have this metal mesh thing that I got someplace. Um, Not that you couldn't put it on the grill. You could put it on a cookie sheet and then just flip it over halfway so it got the bottom side. But I
Okay.
have this thing that has holes in it and the cheese can just sit on there.
Like a
Oh,
fry basket kind of sort of
It
thing.
is only
Okay,
only
there you
it's
go.
flat. But you could use a fry basket if it fit in
Yeah.
your grill and just
Okay.
you don't want the cheeses touching each other. And because you want the smoke to go all the way around. And we usually, because we're using the grill on that, we usually put towels on the back part of the grill where a lot of smoke would come out because I want to keep as much smoke in there as possible.
Huh.
Well,
wow.
Learn
so
something new every day.
one of the
Every
things I just
single
saw said that you can add you can actually freeze your cheese beforehand and then use that part of it too, 'cause that'll help it keep that coolness in. And they were
Yeah.
saying to freeze it beforehand, so that way you're not even risking the whole melting thing if you maybe mess it up or a little bit. But I mean, hey, I think what happens if you mess it up a little bit and it starts to be melty? Then you just keep it for yourself and you eat it and you try
Yeah.
again. I can't imagine Eric would be very upset with that.
Yeah.
So,
But as long as, if you have a regular smoker, it's not really going to make any difference, but our regular smoker is very large.
yeah.
And so this smoker tube you can buy on Amazon. I'll put it in my store. Um, they don't cost very much and it'll last 6 to 8 hours smoking, depending on your pellets.
So cool.
That is awesome.
I'm just sitting here like dreaming of tasting smoked cheese now.
Yeah.
But basically, I have no words.
Except for wowzer. Did you see
Yeah.
all three of our mouths were like, what?
I mean, I'd heard of smoked cheese before.
Sure.
But-
I mean, what's Hickory Farms? You know, we all get
right. But
smoked
I mean,
cheese.
I was just like, I don't really want to pay the $30 for, a
Yeah,
cheese that lasts.
right.
Let's just be for real, maybe a night with
Yeah.
the cheese
Yeah.
eaters that we have.
Yeah.
But let me just say, this is a way to end it, Sandy. You have, when I say, if we could figure out any way to end our Thanksgiving live with smoked cheese,
Yeah. Mm.
good. So, y'all, we want to thank y'all very, very much for spending, because this is one of our longer lives. We've
Yeah.
done this one for about an hour, and if you stuck with us this whole hour, we thank you so much.
Yes.
We also want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, because this will come out the Monday or Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So we hope you have a very happy, blessed Thanksgiving with the family, and this will also rerun the Friday after Thanksgiving, which is really what Black Friday is. Not
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
That's
much.
my daughter's birthday this year. So happy birthday, Abigail.
Oh gosh.
Yay.
Happy birthday, Abigail. Well, y'all, thank you for coming in. We will see y'all in a week for our new Christmas episode. So bye, y'all,
Woohoo!
bye, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
y'all. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Monica, did you know it's now even easier to listen to Around the Hay Bale podcast?
What? Really? How easy?
That's right. All you have to do is say, Alexa, play Round the Hay Bale podcast.
Playing Round the Hay Bale podcast on Apple Music.
Ooh, we're really fancy now.
Tune in to Round the Hay Bale every Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time.